I'm at 4129 Forsythia Drive, if that's the way you pronounce it. I'm doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be concerning for the buyer. Our access is the rear main stack in the basement, and if needed, there's also a floor clean out in the front center of the basement also. So it is PVC to this point. Based off the age of the home, it may change to clay once it gets outside. But it is PVC on the inside. This is an era where they did a lot of, they were kind of switching over to PVC. It's when it was new, so there's a lot of situations where they still were using clay outside for the sewer mains and for parts of the laterals. Just kind of depended on the plumber and whether or not he trusted the new materials yet. There is a dive, and here is a clean out right here, and so it does dive straight down. You can see in the bottom left hand corner there's an angle indicator on the camera, so it kind of shows you how it's laying. And so if we need to, we can make a move to that clean out to be able to get through these turns a little bit, but it looks like we made it. And it does look like we're switching over to clay when we exit the house. So I'm going to run a little bit of water to try to rinse the camera off.
So interesting how it's all connected.
So what I may do is, based off of how I'm sitting right now, I may end up just going through that other clean out. It might make it a lot easier to get the camera through. So I'm already getting going through that 90. I'm pushing in one direction and the camera's going in another, so I think I'm going to pull back. Once we run some water, I'll pull back through here, and then I will make a move over to the floor clean out. But this section of line looks really good. See any defects or anything? With running the water, it would also highlight any low spots or bellies. It would be you would see the water collect in those areas. So we're going to pause the video for a second and make a move over to the floor clean out. Okay, so we have made a move over to the floor clean out, and then this will go straight down. You'll be able to see where we came from. The line in the vertical part. I have to push down through here and then wipe the camera off because there's a bunch of spider webs on here. this is where, right there to the right of the screen, is where the other line comes in. And this goes down just straight out. Here's where it switches over to clay. Clay is not a bad material, but it is pretty common to see root intrusion. You see root connections are about every 3 feet, and so there's just a lot of connections. And so over the years, the packing at those joints can break down, kind of shrink, and then they start letting in little tree roots. But I didn't see any trees in the front, which is honestly a little uncommon. I'm gonna have to run some more water here because the camera's smudged up again. You need to, normally, once you get out to the main, you can rinse the camera off, and on the way back, a lot of times you can see a lot better. But anything major would be obvious on the way out either way. It's difficult to see. There's not enough water going through here yet to rinse the camera off. There we go. So you'll see all that white. It's a mixture of like mineral deposits or calcite, and could be coated with a little bit of grease. Usually the white stuff is grease, because no matter if you dump it straight down the line or not, a lot of it comes out of your dishwasher and you're rinsing your dishes off in the sink. Good for a minute, and then something splashes up in front of it. Once we get out to the main, hopefully we can rinse off and you'll be able to see. The picture is usually extremely clear. I can see what I need to see here, but here we are at the main now. Let's see if we can get this to turn, and even there's not a whole lot of flow because everybody's at work. And so we'll leave the water flowing as we pull back, but the line looked great, especially for the age and material. I didn't see any root intrusion, didn't see any structural issues at all, not even any really bellies in the line where water is collecting. It's really good. So you can see kind of the wear marks on either side of the pipe, and it can kind of indicate about as high as the flow ever gets, which is about maybe a quarter of the way up the pipe.
hazing over. It's probably got a little bit of grease on the lens, and it keeps. You see, this looks like it's been lined. If you look, this area looks like it has actually been lined. You can almost read, because you can't see the seams. There's almost like there's a part number that you would have to be, just because of how white it is. I usually tell. That the seams, since there aren't these seams, what this means, see from here on, I think that's what it is. I think this was lined from the main. And so you see the lip, and what I thought was some calcite in there, it is actually the lip of a liner, an older liner. And so they've lined that from 64 feet out to the main. So I'm assuming that the Metropolitan Sewer District has done this. You see the part number in the bottom right-hand corner on the pipe? That is a liner. And so the good news is that the line from that point out has been lined. You can see the clean out right above that. It's harder to see on the way out with the smudged camera. So you can see right there on top, they installed the clean out so they get in there and line it from there out to the main. And so, based off the footage, I would assume it is right at the demarcation line between the municipality and the private property. Should be coming back in here shortly. There we go. We're back in the PVC. And we're vertical coming out of the clean out. All right, that line looked great. Especially for the age of material, that line was in great shape. It was lined from about 60 feet out, which is something good for the buyer also. It means that's already been repaired to keep any roots out, at least under the street. And I don't think there's any trees or anything out front that would warrant having to worry about any tree roots getting in the future. And so the line was great structurally. The line's open and flowing at time of inspection, and didn't see any defects. So that's going to end the inspection at 4129 Forsythia Drive in Cincinnati, Ohio.